welcome to the fourth TAD Summit. So let me just get straight down to it. The theme for TAD Summit this year is the industrialization of telecom app development. So what we're meaning by that is some of the changes we've seen in the industry, with Troppo being bought by Cisco, Nexmo being bought by Vonage, Twilio going IPO, and a whole host of other acquisitions that we've seen in the past year, 18 months, are meaning that developers, businesses that have been creating apps, services, capabilities on telecom platforms are now really able to take them globally and run them at industrial scale very easily. And there's a whole DIY movement, do it yourself, in telecoms. So what we'll be reviewing through this 2 days is looking at all the different types of DIY that's happening in telecom app development around the world. Because what we're doing, just so you understand where there's a little bit of complexity, is because we're streaming this live over the internet, we're also taking the presentation from the laptop back to the editing desk so they can take a good quality picture and broadcast it live rather than the sort of grainy, faded out picture from here. So, as I was saying, got to thank the sponsors for making this possible, and they include Cisco Spark, Senid Mobile, Matrix, Nexmo, the Rethink Project, Telestacks, Troppo, Ubuntu, Vonage, and Voxbone. And several of those sponsors have been with us since the start when we did the first TAD Summit back in Bangkok in 2013. And they include Troppo, Senid Mobile, Telestacks, and Ubuntu, sponsored by Canonical. So they've been with us from the start. We've got several people in the audience who have been with us from the start. So a shout out to Mark from Locatrix for being there. There's been many more, but just to say that this has got a dedicated following both here physically and online. So they're the sponsors making it possible. We have many partners that are helping us as well in promoting and making people aware of what we're trying to do here in TAD Summit. I just wanted to take a quick review of what we did only 1 month ago. We ran TAD Hack Global on the 14th through the 16th of October, and that is focused solely on developers, creativity, and all the cool stuff that you can build on telecom APIs. Just by the numbers, as I said, it was a global event. It was the largest global hackathon over 1 weekend, full stop. There are other hackathons that run through the year with lots of locations around the world. For example, NASA run a year-long series of hackathons. They have about 10,000 developers involved. So we're not on that scale, but over 1 weekend, we're the largest. And guess what? We're focused on this weird telecom technology. It's not some sort of big internet thing. It's a whole group of people that are doing cool stuff built on telecom capabilities. We generated over 170 hacks, and we're across 30 locations around the world. Just to show you some of those locations. As I say, when people say, well, where are you running? From Athens to Zambia, we were running locations throughout Asia and in the Americas as well. The sponsors of TAD Hack Global include many of the sponsors of TAD Summit. So there's two things go hand in hand, and I'm going to explain how it works in a couple of slides. Two additional sponsors, though, Vox Implant, who are running TAD Hack Moscow. Again, a massive event. First time we ran in Moscow, and we were close to 200 registrations in Moscow. But the interesting one, and this is the change from the previous years, is, as you can see, Carrefour. Now, for all the Europeans, of course you know what Carrefour is. For our American friends in the audience, it's slightly smaller than Walmart. They see the power of telecom app development in transforming their customers' experiences, and they were a sponsor. They had 24 hacks generated from around the world showing a variety of ways in which telecoms and supermarkets can be mashed up together. So that was a great addition, and we'll be expanding on that, trying to get more from financial services, from other consumer-focused industries involved in TAD Hack. for next year. Now, to run 30 locations, you need a lot of partners around the world to help you make that happen. Just to give a shout out to Data Art, they ran New York, Kiev. We have the winner from TADHack Kiev here to give a pitch in a little bit later, and also ran Voronezh, which is a southern Russian city. Most people haven't heard of it, over 1 million inhabitants, and it's a high-tech center. So it was great to be able to bring all these different cities and developers from around the world to take part in building cool stuff on telecom capabilities and realize that they're part of a global community. Also, just to give a shout out to Mark Shuttleworth from Canonical, who gave the opening keynote. That was inspirational and got a lot of people excited in being part of TADHack Global. As I said, there are a lot of companies, partners from around the world that help us achieve those phenomenal numbers in TADHack. And one of the things that we've always labored as a point is TADHack is for everyone. It's not just developers, it's product and design people as well. Diversity in teams is key to winning, full stop. If we look at the winners, it tends to be a diverse team. We have a lot of students. We do a lot of cooperations with universities. We cooperated with a university in Pakistan for the first time. Over 100 people registered to take part just in learning how to be a telecom app developer. We have a lot of businesses. You'll see as you go out in the exhibition area and talk with the sponsors just how easy they're making it, not just for developers, for businesses to be able to use those capabilities, to use telecoms in their business processes, in their customer relationships. And we have a few telecom people. That's actually, of all the different groups, that's the most underrepresented in telecoms. It says something. 50,000 in prize money, fun, free food, meet cool people, hack, and a good chance of winning some money. What we try to do with TADHack is share the love as broadly as possible. It's not one big prize, it's lots of nice prizes. We tend to keep it in cash because people are giving a weekend. And especially if you've got a family and you've been off hacking, having fun, and the partner has been looking after the kids for that weekend, you need to be doing something special for them afterwards. So winning some cash prize helps you do that. And just to show you some nice pictures, so we have the Voronezh guys, we have Moscow, Jaffna, London, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Kuala Lumpur, and just to show the commitment we are seeing from some telco organizations, we have the CEO for MTN Zambia. He was involved in the event. We actually in South Africa, CEO for Zambia, we had the CIO for MTN South Africa making the morning news. So we actually got onto morning breakfast TV in South Africa with TADHack. So that was nice to see. We've grown considerably since we started our first TADHack back in, actually it was only 2014. And just to share with you some pictures from years gone by. So last year we ran in 15 locations rather than 30. We have Chicago, we have Melbourne, Raleigh, we have Buenos Aires here, we have, of course, IST Lisbon, have to have that in there. We have Sri Lanka as well. So just to show some, just to mention, we'll be hearing from Shifraz from Dialogue in the Carnival of the Creators session, and they've been involved with us since the beginning. So they saw the value of what we're trying to do. They've been already doing it for several years, and they've been a key partner throughout TADS. And this was the first one. I know there's some familiar faces here that were involved. We actually had started with just one location, Madrid. So that's where we ran it, in Madrid. But as people started to become aware of what we were trying to do, we added Sri Lanka, we added in Kuala Lumpur, we added in the Philippines, we added in several other locations around the world. So it's only been 2 years, and we've achieved some quite impressive numbers. Now, last year at TADSummit, at the end, we announced TAD Mentor. So what we're trying to do is use this ecosystem around telecom app development to help people use those capabilities. It's just an open ecosystem on Slack where you can basically join in and chat, ask questions, and if you've got a startup, you can get special help. And we have, since we announced it, 725, well, over 725 members in there. There's active discussion for 2017. That'll be a focus in really helping that bring on several businesses in using telecom capabilities. And the numbers that we have for TADSummit, we've got in total 250 that's composed of 30 sponsors, about 170 registered attendees, and 50 registered remote. Now, of course, we broadcast this live over the internet. If you go to the TADSummit website, you've got the video there playing live now, because we want to spread this message as far and wide as possible. Everybody's making the time and effort to come in, to create the content, to present here in Lisbon, and we want to make sure that that message is distributed as widely as possible. Some of the videos that we've done in the past, like we did a hack IMS in minutes, that was back actually in 2014 in Madrid, has been viewed over 1,500 times. Now, it is small compared to all the popular videos, but we're in a weird technical niche geek. So it's relatively good numbers for the geeky niche we're in. And just a couple of shout outs to Daniel, who will be giving his pitch. He was a winner from Berlin for Snappy Chameleon, and he won the Canonical Global Prize. We have David here from the Virtual Healthcare Triage. They were the New York winner, and they were building on Cisco Spark Tropo. And we also have Igor here, and he was the Kiev winner. And again, he was building on Cisco Spark Tropo with bot funnels. And we're going to be hearing from them not only in the Carnival of the Creators, but also through the next 2 days. We're taking both the Virtual Healthcare Triage hack and Daniel's hack, Snappy Chameleon, and including that in the Dangerous demo. So, unfortunately, David didn't realize he was going to be doing that till this morning. So we really do try to make it as dangerous as possible. Just quickly, if you've got here and here, you can see they're marked in red. We have an online agenda. That's the up-to-date one, okay? We have some printed copies, because last year everybody complained, I want a piece of paper. Well, I'm holding a piece of paper as well. So, because we had the app, we had it online, so we thought that would be enough. Nope, we've got you your pieces of paper as well. So let me just quickly run through the agenda so you know what we're covering over the next 2 days, and just highlight where some of the changes are. There's only really one significant change to what you've got in front of you. So I'm providing the welcome address. We're then just going to get straight down into Carnival of the Creators, where we're going to run through whole series of really cool stuff that's happening in startups, in big companies. You'll be hearing more of them from them over the next 2 days. This is only to whet your appetite and understand the diversity of creativity that's happening in telecom app development. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, and this is again is feedback from last year, is we're including a 5-minute pitch, 5-minute Q&A, so we allow the audience to have time to ask questions. But also, what we're going to do is what we call Speaker's Corner at the end of most of the sessions. So what that means is the presenters from that session are going to stand here at the front, and then you can come down and ask your questions one-on-one as well. So we're just trying to give you as many opportunities as possible to be able to ask questions, either as an audience or one-on-one with the presenters. Then we'll break for lunch at noon, and then in the afternoon session, so we only have an hour for lunch. So just to make sure that you don't disappear off for a lunch somewhere nearby. Lunch is provided here, and then we're going to be in for the sponsors plenary session. So this really is the mind trust of the industry. So this is going to be a long, hard session, but there's going to be a lot of information shared there. And again, when we get to the end of that session, we'll have Speaker's Corner so that you can get a chance for one-on-one Q&A. And also, after that session, we're going to be breaking into the breakout streams. So I'm asked as each of the leaders of the breakout streams to come and give a quick 1-minute pitch about what's going to be covered in their stream. So we'll break out into 3 streams. Paolo will be leading the decentralized communications session here in the plenary room, and then we have 2 breakout rooms across the hallway, and you can see which one is running in there. I think Augusta 1 will be where Martin is running his session, and then Mark will be running his session on the case studies in Augusta 2. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into too much details on what's covered on those breakout sessions. Read through the agenda, see which ones you fancy. And then at 6, we pop upstairs where there will be some port tasting. We're in Portugal. We have to have port tasting with some nice Portuguese nibbles. So that'll run from sort of 6 to 6:30. Now, I know I'm saying it's in the exhibition area, but it's actually just going to be upstairs. We're small enough a hotel that you just hear the noise from the people that are drinking and you'll know where it is. And then this evening, from the networking that you've been doing in the speed networking, the sponsors I know have been in contact with many of the people here, and also just the friends, the acquaintances you make over today. Use it as an opportunity to go out for dinner with them. So if, for example, if some of the sponsors are of particular interest, go up, chat with them, and ask them what they're doing for dinner, because it's always fun to be in a group for dinner. So that's the first day. I know I'm overrunning a little bit, so let me just quickly speed up. Second day. This is the change to your paper copy, okay? So on day 2, we're not starting with Vish Nadal. He's going to be in the afternoon. We're going to kick off with Shifraz. So that's one of the changes. Again, a series of plenaries. We're really looking forward to what's being shared there. Then, after that plenary session, we'll go to breakouts, where we'll be covering conversational CRM, bots, real-time analytics. We'll be doing phase 2 of the case studies around telecom app development. And tomorrow, because we have to do it tomorrow because we did it today, well, they're working on it at the moment, the dangerous demo. So it really is, we have a dry run at 6:30 this evening for the dangerous demo, and we're still going to be working on it most probably through the night. But it's just to show all the stuff that's feasible, that's configurable with software that's off the shelf. And I think you're going to see, before we've been focusing on the core and all the stuff that you can do in the core, we're now going to be looking at the whole of the network, the fact that it really has become software defined and what that means in terms of the revolution that we're going to see in the next couple of years in DIY telco networks. Then we'll break for lunch. And then what we're going to do in the afternoon, we're just going to have a big session that's just going to run through to 4:30. So we're going to kick off on day 2 afternoon, where we'll have Vish's keynote. We'll then have Werner give an update on all the cool stuff that Telenor Digital's been doing. We have 3 presentations from LivePerson. So this is going to be the 3rd one. So that I'm really looking forward to. They'll be focusing on the bots. Last night in the bar, we twisted their arm, and they're going to be part of the dangerous demo as well now. And they're really excited about what's going to happen there. So again, it's bringing the community together, just showing that you can do stuff in near real time. So that's really exciting. And then we're going to wrap up the day where really, the Nexmo acquisition was really significant in that a telco, Vonage is a telco, they bought Nexmo. And they're really, I think, going to define the future for a lot of telcos in this space. So the vision, we're going to get direct from Alan, the CEO of Vonage. That's going to be remote. And we'll also have Thomas here. Unfortunately, on Friday, Tony got called off to some emergency business. So, but we have Thomas in his place. That's, again, one of the other changes from the agenda. And then I'm just going to quickly wrap up and share with you some of the highlights of what we've got coming up in 2017. So that hopefully gives you a feel for what we're going to cover over the next 2 days. And I should mention, nearly forgot them. On Thursday, there's a free workshop. Free is always nice. So Telestax Dialogic are running a workshop here, so you don't have to go very far. So just to shout out that there is a workshop going on after TADSummit as well.